Hi and welcome. Welcome to this week's astrology forecast for May 24th all the way through to May 31st. And again, it's looking like it's going to be a bit of a busy week. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, the general story of the week. It's another week of busyness. There's a lot going on, a lot happening at the beginning of the week, and it will sort of pan out and slow down a little bit towards the end of the week. So anything difficult that requires sustained focus, a lot of energy, a lot of persistence, really well aspected to try and use some of this energy and channel some of this at the beginning of the week. And then take time to take the pedal off the gas towards the end of the week and rest up where possible. So let's take a look at the key transits of the week. So we kickstart the week on May 25th with the Sun in Gemini, sextiling Neptune in Aries. So Sun in Gemini is very fast, light-hearted, curious energy, and Neptune in Aries is that sort of spiritual warrior energy. So it's a really good time to talk, to learn about anything spiritual, anything to do with religion, to get curious. This energy is sort of a blend of fire and air, and it can heighten our intuition also. So expect vivid dreams, inspiration coming to us out of the blue, and inspiring that creative imagination. Really good time to dream, but not to get carried away with it. Then also on the same day, we have Sun in Gemini squaring the North Node in Pisces. So think logical mind squaring ambitions, challenging our ideas. So work through logic versus intuition. And also with that South Node being activated, it's a time of letting go of being critical and walking that path where logic and intuition can exist together, and we can utilize both where appropriately. Also on the same day, a lot happening on the May 25th, as you can see. Mercury in Gemini opposes Lilith in Sagittarius, and this is kind of a build on the previous energy. So it's logical, data-driven, curious Mercury opposing that raw, untamed, and independent Lilith in Sagittarius. So this is where we have to try and compromise between these two. So we have to look at the amount of data that's coming through and try and decipher where truth is, what feels right. And there'll be a lot coming at us thick and fast at the moment. So where in our gut do we know that this feels true, and where do we feel that this is off? And that's time to sort of discard those elements. So it's a really good time to sort of tap into your intuition, supported by a little bit of logic there. And then on May 26th, we have the Sun in Gemini trining Pluto in Aquarius. So this is sort of power to the people kind of energy. It can be power struggles, communication, IT, but because it's a trine, it's more likely to be a supportive energy. AI advancements, thoughts can be sharp and penetrating. Our communication can be very magnetic at this time, and our words can carry very sort of deep transformation with them. So it's something to be mindful of. Also a really good time to speak truth, embrace forward thinking concepts, and to let go and make space for transformation. So it's nice that we've got that trine going on, but also on the same day, and the same with another aspect to Pluto, we have Mars in Taurus squaring Mars. So this is deep power meeting sharp, incisive, fiery energy, and it's very intense. It can be confrontational energy. Power struggles can arise from this. Buried frustrations may come up with an intensity that takes us by surprise. Energy can be easily triggered here. Mars is direct and fiery. Pluto brings that intensity and that transformation. But on the positive side, it's a good time to just think before we react and try to respond rather than react. Just take a breath if we feel ourselves being triggered. And this energy can help us with sustained focus and doing something that's really difficult. If we need to sit for a period of time and just focus on something, it's a really good energy to work with today. And then we have a little bit of a lull until May 29th, when we have Venus in Cancer squaring Saturn in Aries. So Venus in Cancer asks for nurturing and loving connections, but Saturn brings a bit of hard reality and structure, a bit of coldness into the mix. So there may be a bit of a push-pull between our emotional needs and what looks like our reality at the moment. And then as we move on to May 31st, we have that blue moon, full blue moon in Sagittarius. So this is actually quite nice energy. And the moon in Sagittarius is very fun-loving, freedom-seeking, very creative. It's a really good time for directing conversations with our loved ones and for uncovering truths or difficult truths. As always, full moons are also a time of culmination, release, things being illuminated. So be prepared that anything you ask under this full moon, be prepared to hear the truth. So weekly themes, there's a lot of focus and intensity with all of that Pluto energy. There's also an element of stubbornness with a mix of that fixed energy with Aquarius in Pluto in Aquarius and Mars in Taurus. It's very fixed and finite, very determined energy. And then we also have that sort of push-pull between the logic and the intuition and bringing those two together and integrating those two together. So those are our sort of weekly themes. Okay, so how best to work with the energy this week? Speak your truth and stand by it, but think before you actually speak that truth. So avoid reacting, be responsive, think without being triggered. Sparks of imagination may come through and they may take us a little bit by surprise, so be prepared to get a pen, jot them down, work with them, otherwise they'll come and go as quickly as they've arrived. It's a really good week to get to the bottom of something that's been bothering us. With that full moon at the end of the week, a good time to have those truth-seeking conversations, get something off our mind in our relationships, in our friendships, and really try to rest up where possible over the next few weeks and gather our reserves of energy, because the next few weeks are going to be, after the first 2 weeks of June will be relatively slow, and then it'll start to build towards the end of the month. So rest where you can, gather energy where you can, because you want to savour everything that you've got for the energy that we've got going on in July. So some weekly affirmations. I let go of what I no longer need to make space for the new in my life. I respond rather than react, and I can handle this. So in summary, this is a week of dreaming, working through the difficult tasks that are in front of us and releasing the old, for being able to trust and prepare for what's coming, for what's new, and making space for those new things. So with that being said, I wish you all a great week. I hope you make the most of the energy that's out there. I hope you rest up. I hope you take time to relax, to rest, to meditate, to do some grounding where possible. And have a great week. Much love, Maria.